The past few years have seen unprecedented changes within the eternal land of Quel'thalas. The Blood Elves, following the will of their crazed leader Quel'thalas Sunstrider, channeled dangerous, chaotic magics to transform their sacred Sunwell into a gateway of unspeakable evil. While Quel'thalas and his demonic masters were eventually defeated, a different kind of transformation occurred within the Sunwell itself, as a dying Naru sacrificed its life essence to reignite the Sunwell into a fount of holy energy. Now, the Blood Elf regent Lorthamar Theron sees a new hope on the horizon for his people. Over time, the Sunwell's light could cure the Blood Elves of their cursed state, but many still cling to the arcane powers they've procured and are hesitant to relinquish them. As one of the remaining Blood Elves, you must fight to protect Quel'thalas and help redeem the soul of your ancient people.
Alright, hi, welcome to our series where we go through and play the starting zones of all the races in World of Warcraft. This is the Blood Elf. That was our intro to kind of set us up.
Victory lies ahead.
Magistrix Arona. Reclaiming Sunstrider Isle. The sooner you begin your education, Tantalus, the better for us. There is little room for error, so listen closely. The burning crystals, the green floating objects to the west of Sunspire here, have long been used to power the Isle's experimentations. The mana worms were their guardians, but the scourge invasion of Quel'thalas has driven them errant from our lack of magical control over them. There is little choice but to thin their numbers for reclamation. Do this and return to me.
Be ready for anything.
Okay. So we need to kill mana worms. So we are a mage. So we're going to be spell casting, range damage dealer. Mana worms. Oh. So we need to set interface auto loot. Let's go ahead and put action bars like I always like. And then mana worms. Let's put the racial abilities of the Blood Elf is Arcane Torrent. Remove one beneficial magical effect from all enemies and restore 3% of your mana. So you steal a spell from somebody and you gain mana regen. So it's pretty good. That is their active ability. They have Arcane Acuity. Increase critical strike by 1%. That's good. That's good. Arcane Resistance. Reduce arcane damage taken by 1%. The Blood Elves are one of my favorite races, especially in Warcraft 3. Quel'thalas, their leader, was really a cool character in Warcraft 3. Also, I think the aesthetic, like look at this forest. Look how vibrant the colors are. Very cool. So as the intro explained, they were dependent on the Sunwell. I don't know if we can see it from here. It was like a fount of power. If we zoom out here, it's about right in here. A fount of power
what
that Arthas and the Scourge destroyed in Warcraft 3. And so now they're exiled and called Blood Elves because they're like finding how to survive without that source of energy. You have successfully completed your first task. For that, you are to be congratulated. Such success gives me faith that you will turn out better than those young Blood Elves who fail to heed the lesson of their masters. Continued success will be rewarded, not only with knowledge, but also with tangible rewards as well. Your work, however, is not finished. There is much more to learn, young friend.
The reckoning is at hand.
Unfortunate measures. Your efforts made something clear that honestly I wish were not true. The unchecked power of the burning crystals has maligned a larger swath of the Isle's natural balance than I thought. We must now take to more unfortunate measures to reclaim control. The nearby lynxes have succumbed to the influence of the crystals, and they must be put down. Bring their collars, Tantalus. as I may yet be able to fashion a magical restraint to turn some back from being uncontrolled.
Shorel Oran.
Alright, so we need to kill the lynxes. Little cats. Can I kill the little guys? Or do I need to kill the big guys? Let's see. We got Fire Blast, an instant blast the enemy for 17 fire. Really good when we spec into Fire Mage. The 3 different specs of a mage are Frost. So they do a lot of freezing spells. They do the Blizzard, that iconic kind of mage ability. Arcane, and they deal with, they have like Arcane Barrage, and they have, is it Arcane Explosion? And then there's Fire Mage. From what I understand, Fire Mage is more, well, they're all good. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. Frost Mages are usually more player versus player because they do a lot of slows.
I need to target something first.
So that is, I think that's the Sunwell right there. Maybe? Can't remember. It's either that's the Sunwell or that's the back of Silvermoon City, their capital. Also have a Blood Elf Mage. Got a lot of Blood Elves playing right here.
I don't have a target.
There's been a lot of people playing the starter zones lately. I wonder why that is. Maybe they're not having fun in the latest expansion. Like myself. Excuse me. Yeah, the latest expansion, I log in and I don't have anything to do. So I'm like, well, I always enjoy the starter zones. They're fun. Well, we need one more. Is there one more down here? There's Blood Elves asleep on the coast there. Well, this might be a problem with this many other players. It's gonna slow me down considerably. There's not normally this. There's about 5 or 6 I've already seen. Alright, we need to go back and talk to Arona. I love the music of the Blood Elves. There's such like a tragic story with the Blood Elves. Alright.
Our enemies will fall.
It gives me no pleasure to ask you to destroy these beasts. While in times past we have lived in relative harmony with the woodland creatures, these are different times. The first order of business for all Cinderai is survival. You must remember that. The tower and surrounding areas should now be relatively secure, though only for a time being. You have done well in providing us a buffer of security, and we will need to reassess control over the entire isle if we are to survive here in the long run. This will involve tackling much greater threats than errant mana worms and lynxes. Take this, Tantalus. You will no doubt make good use of it for the tasks to come.
Death to all who oppose us.
Alright. You are to report to my assistant, Lanthan Empyrean. He will instruct you on what needs to be done next. While we were here at Sunspire, we'll continue to reign in the Burning Crystals. You will be focused on more pressing matters concerning Fothran Academy. Lanthan will explain fully when you speak with him. Simply walk west of here along the path, and you should see him standing close by.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright. Talk to some elves in here. Well, Watcher Solinian.
Glory to the Sindorai.
The Sunspire held a beautiful vintage of the Sunwell once. Our lives have been turned upside down, Tantalus, but we nevertheless carry on. It is our way. We are survivors. If you are to survive this upheaval, to carry on your own right, when you must learn how to survive. All Blood Elves must do this. You must master your insatiable hunger for magic before it masters you. Shrine of Dathramar. Day after day, I stand here watching and waiting. I've been accused of dwelling too much on the past while my eyes look to the horizon. but it is my firm belief that each visitor to this island should honor those who have sacrificed all that they may continue to do so. Dathomir Sunstrider was our first king. He led us here from Kalimdor through the Maelstrom. Seek out his shrine to the west, and do not return to me until you have read the plaque upon it in his honor.
Remember the Sunwell.
So when the Sundering happened, Dathomir led the Blood Elves from Kalimdor over here to the Eastern Kingdoms. I didn't know that. That's cool. Selenian's belongings. With all the chaos happening here at Sunspire, I haven't had a chance to collect my belongings. I've left outside at various places on the Isle. I must maintain my vigil over the Sunwell here, so I'll ask you to collect them in my stead. I need my Scrithing Orb, my Scroll of Scourge Magic, and my journal. Use this satchel for some extra space, as my things are rather bulky. Return to me, and I'll give you a little something, you know. Your effort can keep the satchel as well.
The reckoning is at hand.
Sweet. Bags with which to carry things. Arcanist
Baladash,
Athilinis. It's a shame that we've lost control of many of the creatures here on the island. This was once a tranquil place of study and research. Now, it's all we can do to keep from being attacked by our own creations. I'm going to offer you a chance to receive a magical boon in exchange for some collecting work on your part. Bring me a stack of arcane silvers that are found on the mana using creatures of Sunstrider Isle, and I will cast a spell on you, and it should aid you in your adventures on the Isle.
The reckoning is at hand.
All right, I just was like, look at that. That's cool. Like a magical turntable. Like, there's so many cool elements with the Blood Elves. These brooms are sweeping, and just like look at the architecture. It's just very unique. I don't know what it reminds me of. Arcane Explosion.
Yes.
If there's only one lesson you deign to remember from your time on Sunstrider Isle, let it be this. Control your thirst for magic. It is a thirst unending, Tantalus. What you absorb must be controlled and released via Arcane Torrent. Failure is to become one of the wretched, hopelessly addicted and insane. Seek out Mana Wyrn and unleash your Arcane Torrent upon it. Learn to master your power. When you have sufficiently released an Arcane Torrent, return to me.
Time is of the essence.
So, their addiction to magic is caused by not having the Sunwell, and if they don't harness that, they become wretched. Which are like, kind of like mana zombies, essentially. We've got a third ability, Frost Nova. This is our first kind of big CC ability. Oh, we did that, so we return to this guy. So let's go do that. Then we got a bunch of quests, so we'll go do all these quests.
We will persevere.
You've done well today, Tantalus. Your willingness to learn shows that you may very well rise above the unyielding cravings that you must endure as a blood elf. Rest on your laurels, young one, and instead seek to master what you have learned. Only through diligence will you survive. Will we as a race survive. Take this. It may be of some use to you. Go now, bring glory once more to our people.
We will have justice.
This lady
Do not
is a
loiter.
vendor, so I'm gonna sell. Sell. I don't need those pants.
We will have
Oh,
justice.
I don't have. I'll take gloves. No, they're not any better. Okay. Who cares?
Shurelaron.
Alright. So we need to get arcane silver. We need to go up to the shrine, and we need to collect the objects for that arcanist. There's a Blood Elf Hunter running past us. I think they really capture like the tragedy of the Blood Elf story with that kind of cello part and like the choir.
Anaria Shola.
So, Portalantha Empyrean. Magistrix Aaron told me that you'd be along quick enough, Tantalus. The Farthrene Academy to the west, the huge floating building with the ornate spires, is in bad shape. You're going to be leading the effort to recapture it from one of the wretched, a blood elf who has forever succumbed to the basest cravings. I hope you're ready to work. This is not only going to be a lesson about danger, but also what happens when you forsake the realities of who you are.
Shorel Aran.
Aggression. Before sending you to the academy, I want you on another task that needs to be dealt with immediately. Once used to aid us in the gardening of Sunstrider Isle, the bestial tenders have grown out of control. Clear them out with haste, but be warned, their lack of control has made them aggressive. It is such aggression that forces us to put down these once gentle servants. It doesn't please me to ask you to do such a task, but survival is survival. I'll mourn later.
Stay the course.
Okay, so we gotta put down tenders. Sounds like some kind of... Oh yeah, it's a little tree. Feral tender. Like a little int. Alright, so we need to... Frostbolt actually does a slow. His color changes and he's a little slower. We don't have to loot anything from them. We might go ahead and pull. Let this fire blast. Just turn around and hit him with fire blast. There we go. We need to head up. So that's the altar for Dathomir Sunstrider right up there. That's a cool story. That the Blood Elves came here after Kalimdor and Dathomir led them. And I believe there's a bunch of lore with later on in the expansion of Legion. There's a legendary sword that was Dathomir's sword. And I believe when you're doing the quest chain, you get a vision of Arthas killing the king. Pretty cool. That all happens in Warcraft 3. But in Legion, it's obviously in the past, so you're like seeing a vision. Sword looks cool too. Legion was such a good expansion. I think it's been my favorite expansion by far. There's so much cool things that happened. Alright, we need to click on the Shrine of Dathomir. You have discovered the location of the shrine. Upon further examination, you sense a stronger pulse of strange power that has gripped the isle. You feel a bit uncomfortable standing by the shrine, and perhaps a little disturbed. The bronze placard along the side of the shrine reads, "Here stands the shrine of Dathomir, a fitting tribute to a noble elf. Let all who gaze on this monument remember his sacrifice to our people and his dedication to the cause of our continued survival. All who prosper in Quel'thalas do so thanks to him." Alright. Alright. That's cool, that's cool. So now I think we're going to head sort of to the southwest. And we'll get more of these Trents. We will pick up the items for the dude. The magistrate. The arcanist, whatever his name. Look how cool this is. It's like so unique. Not only in Warcraft is this kind of stuff unique, but in other MMOs, in other RPGs, like you don't ever really see this kind of stuff. So we got Blink. That is our first kind of movement ability. Very helpful. Basically a short teleport. So very helpful to get out of sticky situations, to get, create some space. If you got a mob that's hitting you pretty hard. Alright, looks like here's the scroll. That water is very, very blue. Very blue. So what was the silver? Arcane silvers from any creature on the isle that uses mana. Oh. So probably mana worms. Okay. I don't think the Trents use mana. Maybe I should have been looting them. I'm gonna feel really stupid if I wasted all that not looting them. Surely we can get that from the mana worms heading back up. Best we can see, let's kill one. Poor little tree, just instant delete. Here's the scrithing orb. Then we got one more item. It's almost too bright. It's like everything is super bright gold in here. Do have a couple extra pieces of gear, kind of help kills things a little bit faster. The heirloom gear used to give you big experience boosts, but they kind of changed all that in the recent patch. So these mana worms are cool.
I need to target
Remind me of something like a deep sea creature in the Mariana Trench. Like an anglerfish. Kind of looks like an anglerfish. Pretty cool. Alright, we gotta pick up that book. Yeah, they look like an eel, actually. Like a magical floating eel. Get one more and then we'll turn all these quests in. Alright, there it is. We'll head back to Sunspire. Look how tall that tower is. It's crazy. Like immediately as starting off, you get like the architecture, quite a bit of the history. Oh yeah, these are spell breakers.
Glory to the
They're both
Sindorai.
ladies. Yeah, they're both ladies.
State your business.
In Warcraft 3, the Spellbreakers, they have those shields and those really cool double-bladed swords. But they're always guys in Warcraft 3. Those guys are sweet. They stole spells. Did all kinds of really awesome utility.
Anaria
Right,
Shola.
back to Solanian. Ah, Tantalus, thank you for sharing your experience at the Shrine of Dathramar. First off, you should be commended for your sense of duty and respect. It will serve you well, not only here, but in all Azeroth as well. As for the odd sensation, it is no doubt a contributing part of the taint that has befallen Sunstrider Isle. We shall keep an eye on it. Thank you for alerting us to it.
We will have justice.
Okay, here's your things. Well done. I knew you'd be perfect for the task. Once it's safe to make use of the outdoor facilities on the Isle, I'll be putting these things to good use. Like I mentioned, please feel free to keep the satchel. Also, you may find this piece of armor to be useful. Consider it ample compensation for a simple task performed dutifully.
Keep your wits about you.
Alright, got a bag. We got some gloves. Alright, the Arcanist.
Anu Belore Della Na.
Continue. Splendid. These will do nicely. I've been doing excuse me, I've been doing quite a bit of thinking on the current malaise Sunstrider Isle suffers under. One possible course of action I had pondered was to collect the arcane silvers from the beasts on the Isle. In doing so, they could be experimenting, and this would provide a potential source of culpability. Anyway, I will tend to my research. Allow me to place this incantation on you. I believe you'll make good use of it.
Salama Ashalanore.
Alright, now we have Tundra Refreshments. Mages are able to summon food that replenishes both mana and health, which is super helpful. Oh, and he gave us a buff, Fortitude of the Sindorai. Increased stamina and versatility by 5. Sweet. And we got a cloak. In retail WoW, the summoning food is not as impactful, but in classic WoW, that was like humongous.
What business have you?
Alright. Oh, we gotta select something here. Alright. Philandrin the Banished. A betrayer of our people resides atop Fathrin Academy to the southwest. Philandrin is his name, and he was banished from the Blood Elf lands. for failing to heed the warnings and teachings in the elders. He is the worst of our society, as he lives only to feed his insatiable magical addictions. He refused to learn control. He is a shell of his former self, one of the wretched, and he is a threat to the Sunspire. Destroy him and the wraiths he uses as minions.
Hold your head high.
That's sad. Sounds like a drug addict in real life. So we gotta go up to the spire. Alright. Do that. As we're heading up there, let's see what we got. At level 6, we get Arcane Explosion. That's the AoE ability I was referring to earlier. Arcane Wraiths. Mages do so much damage. Crazy.
I need a target.
Level 7, we get Counterspell. Interrupts casting. That's helpful. At level 8, we get Arcane Intellect. That's like a class buff, which is nice. We're gonna kill all these we see because the other players might also be killing them. Level 9, we get Slow Fall. So if we fall off a big cliff, and sometimes you can skip portions of a map, and you basically don't take fall damage. Lots of cool iconic abilities. Tons of utility on a mage. I think one of my favorite things is I have a max mage on the horde is being able to create portals. Humongous time saver. You can just portal everywhere, even to like different worlds instantly. It's great. Every other class has to take flight paths, go to portals that are always there, but the mage can just basically summon wherever they want to. Very helpful. Alright, we need a tag. Here's the minions. Just wanted to pull everything so the player here doesn't mess anything up. Well, I guess I stole it from him. That's not cool. Alright, we got the crystal. You found an odd silver crystal. The corpse of the tainted arcane wraith. The silver is different than others. Sinister looking as the wraith looted it from. Just holding it gives you a sense of unnatural foreboding. Arcanist Hellion at the gazebo of the Sunspire and Sunstrider Isle just might be someone who would have a use for the silver. Okay. So, for the life of me, I have notifications disabled. I need to figure that out. I have all the notifications disabled. For some reason in Warcraft, when someone signs in, it like dings at me.
Victory lies ahead.
Okay. Heed well this warning. Felindrin the Banished is only a symptom of a much larger problem. His demise will solve our immediate concerns, but all Blood Elves share the potential same fate as him if we let our addictions get the best of us. You are to be commended, Tantalus. You've succeeded where others, like Felindrin, have utterly failed. Perhaps you are truly ready to be a contributing member of the Blood Elf Society. Your success here means that you are capable of surviving the greater threats that lurk in Eversong. And believe me, there are plenty to face.
Keep your wits about you.
Ending the Outrunners. Magistrix Erona wanted you to head over to Silvermoon City in order to aid our reclamation efforts there. That's once you had successfully addressed the situation with Farthrin Academy. You did not disappoint us, Tantalus. On your way to Falconwing Square, south of here, you should speak with Outrunner Alarian. She's not far from the bridge. The Outrunners take care of shuttling goods between here and the mainland. And since you've proven to be resourceful, they could use your assistance.
Hold your head high.
Alright. Let's return this quest up here really quick, and then we'll head to the southeast over here, across the bridge.
Glory to the Sindorai.
Alright, here's it's most interesting. And when I say interesting, I mean disturbing than anything else. Our efforts to resent control over the Isle in time following a destruction of the Sunwell have been a challenge. I suspect that whatever foul source is corrupting the Isle is the heart of it all. This silver may be of some part of uncovering what's really going on. Alright, while we're here, we'll go ahead and sell. Alright, now we'll head to the Outrunner Alarian. We shall do it. So in Warcraft 3, the human campaign and the expansion of Thrones and Throne, you play as Quel'thalas, Sunstrider, and you get to see sort of the development of the Blood Elves and how they kind of departed from the Alliance. And Quel'thalas is a really interesting character. Ah, here's more spell breakers. Look at that armor. That armor's so cool. That shield. So cool. I hope they release that armor at some point. So, I think this will take us to the next part of the quest. We'll pick it up in the next episode.